Okay, good morning everyone here in the United States and good evening, magandang araw sa lahat ng outside the US. So just give me a few seconds. I'm just setting up my other platform, social media platform. Hello, Meraflor, Isa, Maharlika Dakanay. Okay, so our topic today is will be basically BG talking about New Jersey H1B opportunities for teachers. So it's a very short presentation. I only have about 5 slides that I prepared. So kung may mga tanong kayo, I would rather that you write it down on the comment section because this will not be a long conversation. So unless marami kayong tanong, then I will try to answer those questions then. I don't know if you're seeing my screen. Okay, for those na naghahabol, they can basically review the presentation anyway. So, but just give me some few, just give me a minute. So we have Maricon and Charo, Maharlika, May Nelly. Okay, so just give me a second. Okay, guys. So then again, I will just have a quick conversation about New Jersey H1B opportunities. Opportunities. So again, pag may mga tanong kayo, sulat nyo lang dun sa baba. No? And again, I only have 5 slides to prepare for you. So the hiring season for the H1B is about to end already. So while there are a lot of school districts that would want to hire Filipino teachers in particular, they are a little bit discouraged on the H1B process, especially if the applicant is in the Philippines. And one of the reason, and we'll talk about the challenges later, is yung OEC, the Overseas Employment Certificate that we need to obtain from the Department of Migrant Workers, formerly POAA, is taking about 3 to 4 months. So, and then there's a lot of paperwork that need to be completed by the employer. Some of them need to be apostilled, and not all school district has access to apostille. By default, they need to go to the Department of the Secretary of State to have their documents apostilled. And there's also a lot of challenges dealing with the polo, either in Washington D.C. or in LA. So yun yung mga one of the challenges. So pag at this point in time, if you're currently living in the Philippines, then getting an H1B sponsorship is a little bit challenging unless the school is willing to wait for your arrival around September, October this year. Meron naman na pumapayag, but very, very rare at this point. Now, on the J1 visa side as well, at this point in time, nagkakaubusan na talaga ng J1 visa. So why do I need to talk about the New Jersey in particular? Because marami kami nakakausap ng mga school districts in New Jersey, and I'm talking about my role as having or owning a staffing agency. Gusto nilang mag sponsor ng teachers. The problem is they want their teachers to be credentialed already. And I'll talk about bakit yun yung requirement nila, no? So then again, if you have questions, write it down here. Our topic ngayon is basically H1B opportunities for teachers for New Jersey. I-remind ko lang, pag may mga tanong kayo, I try to answer them in generally speaking, but don't take my response as a specific advice to your case. So if you would want to actually have that specific conversation about you and about your case, then you can actually send us a message so we can talk about that. Taga Biliran Province. Hello, hi, Gian. So, New Jersey H1B opportunities. The general rule, as far as the school districts that we've talked to, and in particular, if they are interested to hiring H1B, is they will only hire credentialed teachers. So what does that mean really for you? So una, you have to have a minimum GPA of 3.0. So the only way you could determine that is if you have a foreign credential evaluation report. So that's what we call the FCE, and there are only limited academic credentials evaluators that they would accept. The most common one is WES. So yung WES, ang kailangan nila gagamitin, this is the course by course evaluation, and doon mo makikita kung ano yung average GPA mo for the degree that you already had obtained outside the United States. And you must have past praxis too. So, medyo for the some of the teachers, so kung kunwari yung mga nurses mo, they actually talk about CGFNS or NCLEX, the term that teachers normally use is praxis. But not all states really require praxis. So, may mga states lang na nagre-require nun. One of them is New Jersey. And not all teachers had the ability to pass that. I'm not underestimating the capability of the teachers, but some teachers just have that challenge of passing that praxis the soonest time possible. So, kung halimbawa nga, kung sinasabi natin, if you are not able to get an H1B opportunity now, then the best time to prepare would be the next season ng H1B, which normally school district starts to open the conversation for the following school year. So we are now talking about the 24-25 school year. Then they would start having that conversation around November, December, and then would be built up na yun towards January, February. Ngayon, some of you may take time to really prepare for passing the praxis exam. And you also have to take TOEFL as your English proficiency requirement then, no? So it's still another exam that you have to deal with. And then preparing for this may take some amount of investment, right? So the good news is there are testing centers in the Philippines, in particular in Manila and Cebu. They could basically accommodate you. So before the hiring season begins for next school year, you could basically prepare and review and take the time to pass this. So bakit maganda sa New Jersey? So, just like mga nurses though, the school districts that really hire, most of them are on the rural areas. So, if you're actually looking at something closer to the metropolitan areas, New Jersey would be one of your best locations because it's closer to New York or to any tri-state states in the United States. Okay? So, yun lang yung maganda doon. And again, for some other states that also require praxis, just like California, mas mabilis mong ma-convince yung school district that you would want to apply. If you could actually tell them at the time of the interview na, hey, praxis passer na ako, and I also passed TOEFL and all that. So it really is a tool for you to increase your chance of being hired, especially on the H1B. For years, I've been talking about getting or the challenges of having a J1 visa because after 5 years, if you are subject to the 212E, then you need to have a waiver to be able to transition from J1 to H1. But that is not the topic of our topic today. Ang topic lang talaga natin is H1B opportunities for New Jersey. Okay? So, ito yung, again, balikan ko lang, ito yung sinasabi nila na you must be credentialed teacher to be able to get an H1B opportunity for New Jersey. So even if you pass these three requirements, hindi ka pa rin makakakuha ng teaching license if you are outside the United States and you don't have a social security number. So, but applying for the social security, mabilis lang yun eh. So halimbawa, if you already have the job offer, you could actually demonstrate to your potential school district employer na, okay, I already have passed the praxis, my English proficiency exams, as well as you have a GPA of at least 3.0, then mas mabilis na decision yun. Kasi pagdating mo rito, once you're already hired, meron ka ng, you just have to go to the nearest Social Security admin and apply for your Social Security number or card. And then once you have that, you could just basically submit your New Jersey application online and this mas mabilis na lang yung approval nun. As opposed to pupunta ka rito at saka ka palang mag-prepare ng praxis, medyo malabo yun. No? The school will be investing a lot of money and H1B is not, it's a very costly application and majority of those fees should be paid by the employer. There's only one item that the applicant can pay, but the rest of the cost component of H1B sponsorship must be paid by the employer. Else, if ma-audit sila, then they can be banned or banned from hiring another H1B from outside, hindi lang mga Filipinos. Okay? So, any question on the credential teachers conversation? So, I'll just check here kung may mga tanong tayo. Kung wala naman, tuloy-tuloy lang ako na. We have a question from May here. May, ask ko lang po, is there any chance po na ma-employ sa New Jersey kahit pa sa praxis pero dyan na po mag-take within the year? Okay, I'm not so... Ask ko lang po, is there any chance po na ma-employ sa New Jersey kahit hindi pa po pass? Okay, so pag-usapan nga natin yan, no? That's my next slide. Kasi if I am the school district and I will be paying about $8,000 for sponsoring your H1B, and there is no question that you will be able to get the H1B approved and you will be given 1 year validity of the H1B. But the problem is, why would I invest on you? Pagdating mo rito, I cannot even let you in the classroom because you don't have a teaching license. And you cannot guarantee me that within a month, you will be able to get your teaching license. So to answer your question, no. Malabo kang makakuha ng job offer if hindi ka papasa dito sa tatlong requirements. So yun yung sinasabi natin that the best time to really prepare if you would want to get opportunities for H1B sponsorship in New Jersey is now. No? So you have to apply for your foreign credentials evaluation or FCE report. You have to start reviewing and ultimately pass the praxis exam as well as your the TOEFL, which is basically the language proficiency exam. So we have a question here for now. Are they accepting transfer of H1B? Yeah, just like any other H1B visa holders, no, hindi lang teachers, you can port your approved H1B to another employer, and the employer need to file another H1B, and even without waiting for your H1B to be approved, for as long as you can prove to them that you already filed your H1B, the new H1B, you could already start taking or starting the job. Again, but we go back to the question of, do you have a New Jersey teaching license? So if you don't have these credentials that you pass the requirements of the New Jersey teaching license, then you can still not be able to teach in the classroom, even if you already have an H1B. So try mong ano yan. Hello, Ma'am Jean. Good morning, good evening in the Philippines. Okay, nagbabasa lang ako dito. I have FCE from Spantran. Pwede po ba yun? No. New Jersey will only accept West. Hello, Mr. Bird, Keybird. Kumusta po? Thank you for watching. So, nagbabasa lang ako dito. Hi, ma'am. Hi, love, Joanna. Kumusta ang Australia? Okay, we have a question here from Nina. In credentials, summary na po yun from bachelor to doctorate. So, okay, that's good question, ma'am, no? So, yung credentials mo kasi, depende kung ano yung ina-apply mo, no? So, if you are only applying for elementary teacher or secondary teacher, hindi ka naman required na magkaroon ng master's degree or doctorate degree. But having those higher degrees, though, will actually benefit you in terms of the salary rate. So public schools in general follow a salary scale. So by default, ang ibibigay ng employer sa iyo when they actually give you a job offer is the scale 0. So yun yung actually minimum requirement nila. No? So halimbawa, if you're applying for New Jersey, they might be giving you a minimum salary of $45,000 a year. But then once you are already hired, if you could actually prove to them that you have a master's degree or a doctorate degree, then they would actually adjust the salary offer, because it's not a question of are they going to give you that adjustment. They must adjust your salary offer because it's required in all public schools. Now, in terms of giving you credit of your experience, the number of years experience, most school districts need to validate or verify that. At hindi siya yung tipong magsasubmit ka lang ng certificate of employment, tama na yun. So depending on the state, they have their own practice on how to verify actual years of experience. Once they've already verified that you have 4 years experience or 5 years experience, they will also adjust your salary rate. So, sa mga nakikinig ngayon, kung meron na kayong job offer, but if you felt like hindi nila kinoconsider yung years of experience mo or your master's degree or doctorate degree, then start that conversation with the employer on how they could actually adjust your salary offer para makonsider yun. Now, going back to the question of Ma'am Nina, pag credentials ba, kasama na ba ang from bachelor's to doctorate? Again, by default, they will only look into your bachelor's degree. But then again, there is value in including in your credentials your master's degree or doctorate degree because it will actually help you with your salary level na binibigay. So, ma'am, to answer your question, may additional fees kasi pag meron kang additional degrees. So, but it would benefit you if isama mo na lahat kasi ma-adjust naman yung salary mo. Okay na? As BIM, hello Bon, Miss Braza. Regarding po sa GPA, is it 1.0 or 3? Ang sinasabi kasi nila doon is 3. 3.0 dapat ang lalabas doon sa score mo sa FCE if the grading score starts at 4. So, 3.0 lang ang minimum. I'm not so sure if it's 1 to 3. Basta ang ano nila, minimum wage nila is minimum number nila is 3, no? So how we actually check the credentials, we really need for the FCE and then we actually check that kasi depende sa scoring ng state or ng FCE mo. So that's why they will only accept West kasi course by course yung hinahanap nila na report. Until when is the validity of Praxis and TOEFL? Very good question though. Good thing in New Jersey, hindi sila, regardless of when you took the exams, once they would be able to verify the scores, they will actually give you credit. So how New Jersey licensing works though is, so kung kunwari, in the Philippines, may mga Prometrics testing center lang sila, mo pwedeng kunin yun, no? So if you're gonna be applying for the New Jersey as Department of Education, then they will ask the testing center to forward your scores directly to them. So they will not allow you to submit it yourself, just to protect the to protect the integrity of the report. Hi, Miss Janine. Good morning. Nagbabasa lang ako ng mga questions. From Loveland, may I know the location of your center in Cebu City or Dolphin? Okay, so, ma'am, you can actually search that online now. Or later, pag-usapan natin on how we can help you with your credentialing for New Jersey. Miss Braza, for elementary po, attorney, practice for reading is acceptable po ba? We will talk about that. I have a slide for that. Mamaya. Meron po bang child care center sa New Jersey na nakikita ng H1B visa? So, the good thing naman on the teacher demand in all states. So, marami naman talagang opportunities from early childhood to SPED, to normal middle school, pre-K or ano, maraming opportunities. You just have to be lucky enough. Okay, how do I answer the question? So, based on our experience, pinaka-common talaga na mga demand ng mga schools, just like any other school system in the kagaya ng Philippines, very in demand yung elementary general education. Or when you actually go into the high school, middle school level, then ang pinaka in demand talaga science, math, PE or music or social studies, no? And then doon pa mapasok din yung mga SPED where they actually also specify the spectrum level of what the teachers will be teaching. Then meron din mga early childhood education. So I think what you can do though is during the hiring season, you really have to follow what, so kagaya namin sa staffing agency namin, sa iDream America, we will normally post that in our page or even sa personal account ko, I normally post what the other school districts are looking for. So to answer your question, ma'am, yes, there are opportunities with that. Will there be many next school year? I don't know, because we will be starting the conversation with the school districts around October, November, later this year. Facebook user. So can you specify what car means? Joey. Good evening. High school teacher science here. I already have praxis, IELTS, out-of-state teaching license, SSN. Pwede pa ba humabol sa 2023? The the problem with the to answer the question, boss, kaya mong humabol. The problem with the school districts though, at this point in time, chances are they are already staffed. So they are no longer entertaining calls from staffing agencies or hindi na talaga active naghahanap ng foreign teachers at this point ha, yung mga school districts. Yung ginagamit nila J1, more or less. If you already have a job offer, and if you could still find a J1 sponsor, but if you're looking about H1B, medyo mahirap na rin siyang hanapin at this point in time. So, you have it will be advantageous for you because you already have the credentials. And then for next year, pwede ka talagang, you are in the best position to have, to find an H1B sponsorship, especially for New Jersey. So, if you want, you could actually submit your resume. Mamaya sa next slides natin kung saan mo pwede ma-forward yun. We could basically help you find an employer. So when you actually say out of state, are you referring to you're already in the United States or are you outside the United States? Because being outside the United States is also considered out of state. No? So can you specify that, Joey, so we could basically have that conversation? Magnolia, does NG accept reciprocity of teaching from NM? No. New Jersey does not accept reciprocity. So pag kunwari galing ka sa ibang states and you would want to apply for New Jersey, you really have to go through their exam process. Again, if you have this, if you have your social security number, you pass the GPA requirements, you have praxis, you have TOEFL, then you could start applying for the New Jersey teaching license such that pag nagsimula na yung hiring season, you could basically brag about telling your potential employer that you already had been credentialed and there is no problem for you working with their school districts. Jamie, posible po bang mag-apply at mag-job order school list for 2024? Again, if you're looking at H1B, if you are in the Philippines, medyo malabo na. We already have been, as of this time, we have a very few school districts already remaining or waiting for the H1B process to be finished. So, ibig sabihin, the H1B applications have already been filed, waiting for approval, then they will be scheduled for interview and get their OEC to be able to fly to the United States. Miss K. Ijel. Can I apply for out-of-state reciprocity? No. Again, there is no reciprocity in New Jersey. So, car lang. Again, can you specify what car means? I don't necessarily understand that. So, for H1B, ang requirement lang kasi is bachelor's degree, except for SPED. So, if you don't have a master's degree in SPED, you will not be able to get an H1B sponsorship. That's very clear on the rules. So maraming nagme-message, sir, pwede bang I'm still waiting for my degree, master's degree certificate. Will I qualify for H1B? No. I am BS Ed or BA Ed graduate with major in special education. Can I get H1B? No. The rule is very clear. You have to have a master's degree to be in SPED if you would want to get to be hired on H1B in SPED. But all other educational level and specialty area, so halimbawa elementary teacher, middle school teacher, pag hindi SPED, bachelor's degree is enough. No? The same manner with the New Jersey H1B opportunities though. So for as long as you don't teach in SPED area, having your bachelor's degree evaluated is already enough. Pero kagaya na sinasabi ko kanina, if you have a master's degree or a doctorate degree, maganda pa rin na isama mo yon because you can use that in your talking points na ma-adjust yung salary offer mo. I am scheduled to take Texas exam after T reviewed my credentials. Okay. If I pass them, will this be applicable as well to New Jersey? So no. New Jersey, you will have to go through the application process nila. I'm from CDO. Hello, kababayan, right? So I finished my law school by the way in Xavier University. So kababayan kita, no? Sheila, how about SPED teachers opinion? Need po ba mag-masters? Yes, I actually just answered the question. You have to have a master's degree in SPED for you to be able to be offered H1B in SPED. Yeah, IELTS naman, tinatanggap naman nila for your language proficiency. But mas prefer lang yung TOEFL, but IELTS could still be accepted. Gilbert, would it be possible to be qualified if the question is only the baccalaureate? So then again, depende kung anong ina-applyan mo. All other areas other than SPED, yes, a bachelor's degree will be enough. So make sure lang ha na West yung evaluating agency. Jiben, what if while under J1 visa you get an offer? How would that work? So again, we have a lot of conversation already about J1. For you to be able to transition to H1B, you must not be subject to the 212E. If you are subject to the 212E and you don't have a waiver or you don't have the 2-year home residency requirement, you will not be able to be eligible for H1B. Apple, for helping paperwork of my son. Okay, Miss Cole, our pleasure. Yeah, IELTS will be acceptable in New Jersey. So for New Jersey, they require the praxis too, Janine. Marami ding mga online, mga free online reviews to take praxis and so on. So Cherji, attorney, what if my bachelor's degree is non-education and took professional teacher certification or 18 units in teaching program, let passer and currently teaching in secondary public school with 3 years experience? So yeah, this is a scenario where hindi ka originally BS Ed or BE Ed graduate, but you actually had the license in the Philippines. So to answer this question, ma'am, it really depends on what your FCE says, no? Pag sinasabi niya na after evaluating your credentials that you would be equivalent, I mean, it is actually equivalent to at least the bachelor's degree in the United States, then you could still be eligible for H1B. But the conversation doesn't end in the FCE evaluation report. You still need to coordinate with the NJA, New Jersey Department of Education, kung papasa ka doon sa kanilang requirement, right? So halimbawa, you still have to pass the praxis kasi ito yung praxis very specific to subject area to, di ba? So maraming level on praxis exam, hindi siya general exam, right? It really depends on your subject matter expertise. So kung halimbawa math teacher ka, meron ka specific requirement. Kung SPED ka, meron kang specific requirement, or early special education ka, or early childhood education teacher ka, then there is a specific requirement. Guys, pasensya lang ha. The last few days na medyo may environmental catastrophes sa New York due to the forest fires in California. Medyo maraming nagkakasakit dito sa New York, that me included. So I have some cough. Okay. Um, Permission to buy in car means completed academic requirement. Okay. Thank you for letting me know about that. Sa masters. Thank you, Catherine. I have, for Joey Medina, I have Master Science Educator license. Okay, boss, that's good. No? So again, having a master's degree or a doctorate degree will actually benefit you from increasing the salary offer na binibigay sa'yo. Johnny, kung wala po ba praxis ay walang chance ma-hire at magkaroon ng job order. Pag-usapan natin yan mamaya kung bakit ayaw ng New Jersey School Districts magbigay ng job offer pag hindi ka pa pumasa ng praxis. Okay, Facebook user, good morning, more power to Nick. Thanks for helping us to be now here, H1B. Okay, shout out ko pala yung mga teachers natin sa Alaska, no, nakakarating lang 1 week, 2 weeks ago. Good luck sa inyo mga teachers, including our teachers in Virginia Beach, Virginia. May chance po ba ma-H1B sa New Jersey this school year? So again, just like what I said, medyo malabo na ngayon for this school year. So even on my invitations prior to this, I really am saying that the best time to prepare for the 24-25 hiring season is now. Ayala, how to apply New Jersey license for elementary teacher. So, pag-usapan natin in the next slides. Hello Giselle from Thailand. Hello mga teachers natin sa Thailand. Kumusta po kayo dyan? Ingat po kayo. Marami kaming teachers din na na-hire din from Thailand or from Indonesia, and they will be soon coming to the United States kasi pina-file na yung H1B nila. Chell, tune in. How soon po ba pwede mag-apply ng H1B in New Jersey for 2025? So, before we can even start a conversation kung kailan tayo mag-apply, first, make sure lang muna na pumasa tayo dito sa requirement ng New Jersey. So, in your case, so 2022, 2024, pasok ka na sa ano ma'am, no? So, I would presume umuwi ka ng June 2022. So matatapos yung 2 years mo in June 2024. So even if you're gonna have the conversation with the potential school district, kami, sinasabihan na namin yung schools na, yeah, this candidate will qualify, but we cannot schedule their interview at the embassy until makumpleto talaga yung 2 years, else you will be denied. But you can start in applying ma'am for next school year. So if meron kang makuhang employer starting November, January next year. So apply already, no? But we are going to schedule your interview after completion of your 2-year home residency requirement. Okay, good ma'am na may practice ka na, no? And then you also have master's degree in SPED. Okay, so again, keep watching my post, or you could basically send your resume in advance so we could actually put you in our pool of credentialed applicants for New Jersey. So again, ang topic lang natin talaga ngayon is for New Jersey. I know that there are other listeners here or viewers here na gusto din sa ibang state. Beneficial lang naman eh, no? So if you pass New Jersey, you will pass in any other states. That's the good thing about that. And even if doon sa, halimbawa, North Dakota, you could basically get your initial H1B and initial teaching license even if you don't have praxis yet, and you will be given 1 year to do that. But before you could apply for the renewal, you have to pass praxis. So again, if you will be teaching in states that require praxis, California, North Dakota, New Jersey, beneficial pa rin sa iyo yun, no? So you actually have flexibility on choosing which state you plan to work in on H1B. Kuya Makoy, can we stay process H1B even if I'm in the Thailand now? Yeah, so actually mas preferred ng mga school district employers yung wala sa Philippines. Not because ayaw nila ng mga Filipino teachers in the Philippines, but what really discourages them is the OEC process. Then kung ngayon lang sila magsisimula, then ang arrival mo noon nasa September, October na. So it really is discouraging. That's why they are no longer entertaining H1B sponsorship if ngayon lang sila mag-start. Ayala Zubel, do you accommodate applicant po seeking directly school in New Jersey? Nakapetition po ako. If you already have a school that's offering you or giving you a job offer and they need assistance, yes, we could basically assist them and the applicant. So you can just actually send us a message or connect us with the schools if that's how I understood your question. Nakapetition po ako on process na petition ng daughter ko. Okay. So, okay. What I understood is if you already have a petition from your daughter, so I would presume ma'am yung daughter mo is a US citizen, then 1 year lang kasi lang petition ng parent ma'am eh. So if you already are coming to the United States on a green card, then you don't need an H1B sponsorship. So kung nandito ka na at green card holder ka na, just apply directly to the school. And most likely you will be hired by the school because it doesn't require them to file an H1B or other visa sponsorship for you. So good luck on that ma'am, no? So that's actually an advantage on your side. Adet, I'm having SPED po pero complete academic requirements lang po ako, hindi po graduate. Am I qualified to teach SPED in New Jersey? No. Not only in New Jersey but in the US in general. If you are aspiring to teach on SPED area, whether elementary, high school, middle school, if you don't have a master's degree, you cannot get an H1B visa if you don't have a master's degree. But in J1, pwede ka mang magturo ng you might be approved on SPED teaching assignment, but on a J1 visa, but not for H1B. Scores sa TOEFL, we'll talk about that later. I'm not so sure with TESOL though, but based on the New Jersey conversation, they normally use IELTS and TOEFL, but we can get clarification on that. Um, can I apply for a J1 visa even if I'm currently teaching in Japan? Okay, again, this topic is not for J1 visa. We'll talk about H1. But the challenge for J1 visa seekers now is the J1 sponsorship. So kung wala ka pang nahanap na J1 sponsor, medyo malabo na at this point in time. Tina, when is the best time to apply for H1 24/5? Almost finishing here, 20 rule. Again, Ma'am, no, Ma'am Tina, if you could start applying later this year or early next year, even if yung 2-year home residency nyo matatapos sa June, you could now start applying for that. No, just inform your employer na your 2-year home residency requirement will be in June. So kung mabibigyan ka ng job offer, you can have your H1B approved even if hindi ka pa tapos sa 2 years, but don't schedule your interview at the embassy before the 2 year is completed, else madi-deny ka. For New Jersey, Ma'am Nina, practice talaga ang kailangan nila, no? Okay, Jehan, which part of New Jersey po ang hiring nila? So, ma'am, we are not talking about current hiring, ha? We are actually talking about next year's hiring. So we don't know that yet. But the presentation now is actually talking about the requirement of New Jersey as a state. So in general, then let's talk about the opportunities once the hiring season begins later this year. Miss Risa Balcorza, good evening po from Cagayan de Oro. Hello po. Sorry na late heavy rain dito. Ask ko lang po sa payment package for H1B. Ma'am, in general, H1B should be paid by the employer. Kung meron mang pagbabayaran sa'yo, premium processing lang yun. But other than that, the employer should pay the immigrant visa fees for H1B. Rodel, have a great day, attorney. Gano'n po karami ang binibigyan ng engine na H1B po? Sir, ang daming requirement talaga ng New Jersey or any other states. Ang problema lang talaga is nadi-discard. Again, we'll talk about challenges later. No? Marami akong slides niya. Jean, is there an age limit? No, it's a sin to ask for age in the United States. Hindi lang sa New Jersey. For as long as you can do the job and you can impress the officer or the interviewing team, then you can be hired, though, regardless of your age. Christine, ask ko lang po, kailangan po ba na currently teaching ka on application period? For H1B, there is no such thing that you are currently employed. But of course, if you are currently employed as a teacher, advantage mo yun, no? Pero kung may master's degree ka or if you have years of teaching experience, they would still consider that, right? But at the end of the day, the hiring team will gauge your eligibility at the time of the interview. So kung nakikita naman nila na you still have that skill to teach elementary, high school, medical school students, even if you are no longer currently employed, then you could still get a chance, no? So at the end of the day, you have to impress the hiring team. Johnny, may replay po ba? Yeah, recorded naman to, boss. So makikita mo yun sa wall, even on the Facebook page ng Filipino teachers in the US. And thank you, by the way, for joining the Facebook page that we created. Marami-rami na tayo doon. Nasa 30,000 na tayo members doon. So thank you for supporting the page. CJ, from Cagayan de Oro, can we take TOEFL and practice online or? So no, you really have to take the practice on in person. So again, kagaya na sinabi ko kanina, there are testing centers in Manila and Cebu. So so pwede kayo makakuha pa rin. You can still be credentialed even if nasa labas kayo ng o nasa Pilipinas kayo. Marian, attorney, may interview po ba pag J1 transition to H1B? No. Wala nang interview yon, automatic na siyang ma-approve ka na. Then you have the approval notice, and for as long as the approval notice says that you can start your employment with your H1B sponsor, then you can basically just fly and go to that school district. But make sure lang, ma'am, ha, na not subject to 212 ICA if you're coming from a J1. Hello, Ma'am Bebs. Ma'am, hindi ako galit sa iyo. Sobrang busy lang talaga, right? I'm planning to go home in the Philippines supposedly July 15, but sa sobrang daming gagawin, I might postpone it maybe 2 weeks. Baka sa August na ako sa Philippines. But, hello, Ma'am. Kumusta, Florida? Janine, attorney, ilang months po pa usually ang process ng H1B? How about if expedited? So, the proper term is premium process. So, your H1B can be approved in a month or 1 month and a half kung walang challenges, walang request for evidence. It's very fast. Again, in the case of H1B foreign teachers, and if you are in the Philippines, what's really causing the delay is the overseas employment certificate. So, yun yung pinakamatagal. Hello, Sir Marlon. Pa-shout out ako sa mga teachers natin sa Virgin Islands. And for those who already are waiting for their green card interviews, good luck sa inyo, sir. And thank you for the support. Kumusta, Philippines? So hinahabol ko lang yung mga questions, guys. And again, keep writing your questions. I'm just reading them. I would like to know if they are accepting non-education majors but units earners. So again, yung mga hindi talaga education graduates, the best way to answer that is your foreign credentials evaluation report. If you will be, sasabihin nila na equivalent ka to the BE Ed or BS Ed equivalency in the US. Charmaine, is it true closed na po ba J1 visa for the upcoming school year? So, hindi naman siya, I think the question is not closed na ba ang J1 visa. Ang tanong doon, kung meron pa bang visa slots for you. Kasi lahat ng mga J1 sponsor mo, chances are, sasabihin sa'yo, wala ng slots available for the school year. Joseph, Sir, ang pag-uwi po ba sa Pilipinas ang basihan ng 2 years? Halimbawa, ako'y umuwi ng July 18, July 18 rin ba ang basihan sa pag... So, the rule says the 2 years should be counted after the program ended. So, kung umuwi ka ng July 18, yes, that will be the starting pagka-count mo ng 2-year home residency mo. Kailan daw pwede mag-apply ng green card pag H1B na? It really depends on the policy of the school. No? May mga schools, as a strategy, ayaw nilang mag-renew ng H1B dahil nga magastos, mahal ang H1B. No? Then, after 1 year ng H1, you can start the conversation with your employer kung pwede na simulan yung green card mo. Most of the school district that we work with follow that advice just to avoid the third renewal ng H1B. Ms. Rona goals, we will talk about how to apply later. Jean, thank you for answering my question, but another question. Sir, I am currently teaching in public school as a senior high school teacher, if ever. How to apply for H1B? So first, to apply H1B, you have to look for an employer first. So once you have the employer, they will give you a job offer, then we'll start the conversation with the school district on how to start your H1B. Mary Cheryl, matatapos na po ang 2-year rule ko sa October 2024. When po ako pwede mag-start ng mag-apply? So, okay. Let's talk about this, ma'am, no? Medyo alanganin kasi yung timing mo. Okay? Kasi the hiring season for next school year, most, if not all school district wants their teacher to be in the school district around July. Kasi may mga orientation pa yan, right? May mga acclimatation sessions and so on. But normally the school starts mid-August. So, kung October ka pa matatapos ng 2-year, it really depends on the school district kung hihintayin ka nila. So, we actually have one applicant in Arizona. Yung teacher namin, ang availability pa lang talaga niya is March of 2024. But, kailangan na siya this school year. But sobrang na-impress lang talaga yung school district sa kanya that they are willing to wait for him next year pa, no? So if you will be lucky enough to find an employer na willing to wait for you, then that's good news for you. Hello, Mr. Moki from Thailand. So boss, kumusta mo ako dyan sa mga teachers natin from Thailand? So Maya, again, West ang preferred foreign credentials evaluator ng New Jersey. LC, posible po ba ma-hire if not major in English, Science, and Math? I'm not so sure kung elementary ka, ma'am, or high school. So, again, for high school kasi, may requirement ang New Jersey na specialty area. So, let's say, for purposes of conversation, so if you're applying for high school, middle school, math, you have to have at least 36 units in that subject area. So again, I don't know what your specialty is. So, but that's where the foreign credentials evaluation report becomes necessary. For Malaya, sorry if I have missed the question earlier. Lahat po ba ng H1B need po mag-practice? For New Jersey, yes. I'm currently in China and planning to move forward from here. Pretty sure we don't have that here. Ma'am, the good news about the praxis, it can be, pwede ka mag-review. Again, I didn't check kung may Prometrics testing center in China. I'm sure baka meron. But in the Philippines, meron sa Cebu and Manila. No? So I think you can start looking at or searching kung merong praxis testing center in China. But it should be available there. Mafi, good evening. I am a BA graduate in my bachelor's degree and 45 units in MA SPED, 6 years experience. Again, pag SPED ang gusto mong applyan, you have to have a master's degree. Dudes, and this will be my last question, then we'll go ahead with the next slides. Qualified po ba to apply na undergraduate ng BS Biology? Then, teka lang. Qualified po ako mag-apply ng undergraduate ng BS Biology LET, then passer 10 years experience, master's graduate. Ted. So, okay, ang understanding ko, boss, you have a master's degree. So, again, you have to have your bachelor's degree and your master's degree evaluated. If the report would actually say that you have the equivalency of teacher in the United States, then you could still qualify. Okay, going back to our presentation then. So, this will actually answer some of your questions kagaya kanina, no? So, basic skills requirement. So, dapat may result ka ng practice core academic skills mo dito sa areas na to. Math, 150, reading, 156, writing, 162. And then again, New Jersey, even if you will not pass all these scores above, they will actually take or accept the highest scores of any of these areas. And if you will pass, then they could still consider your teaching license application. Okay, so I think that's one of the questions kanina, no? So kung wala tayong mga questions dyan, I'll proceed with the next question. But this is basically just one of the examples ng scoring mo for the praxis results. Then let's talk about the employment challenges for foreign teachers. Ito yung pabalik-balik na question kanina, no? So, and I am sorry if a number of you has been messaging me privately on my Facebook account. And guys, trust me, kahit naman kayo, right? So, hindi mo na talaga kaya sagutin yung private messages mo. And that's the reason why we encourage people who would want to get in touch with me to use the other Facebook account. So, number one, I have a law office to run. And I have staff to answer inquiries. So kung marami kang tanong, pabalik-balik yung mga tanong no? So I would really recommend that, paano ko ba sasabihin? Unlike the nurses kasi, pareho naman ang sitwasyon ng mga nurses at saka teachers There's a big scarcity of teachers, the same manner there's a big scarcity of nurses in the United States. The only difference between the two though is that teachers ang daming applicants. So halimbawa, if you're gonna post one opening in your Facebook page na isa lang yung ino-open mo, ang daming nag-a-apply. Right? Especially pag common areas of specialty. Elementary general education, ang daming applicants nun. High school science, ang daming applicants nun. High school math, ang daming applicants nun. SPED elementary, ang daming applicants nun. But SPED high school, medyo masaya kayo doon, medyo very limited yun. But generally speaking, it's a very highly competitive area. So, kung kunwari, nag-submit kayo ng email, ng application nyo, nagpadala kayo ng resume at hindi kayo na-respond, it only means na sa dami ng nag-submit, baka hindi na nakita yung emails mo or hindi ka na na-shortlist. Right? Kasi ang dami lang talagang applicant. So, I actually read some of the comments on the page. People are sharing that, yeah, they've been applying for the last 2 years, the last 3 years, and even if they already have been interviewed by 2 or 3 school districts, they are still not lucky enough to be selected, right? Kasi halimbawa sa practice namin, for every one opportunity, we will send 3 resumes. Kasi hindi mo naman mag-case and you would want to actually give choices to the employer. So highly competitive talaga. So ibig sabihin nun, kung hindi ka kinokontak. And I'm not talking about our staffing agency only. Even the other staffing agencies, pag kunwari hindi ka kinokontak nila, no, it only means na hindi ka na shortlist doon, or hindi na posibleng hindi nakita talaga ang application mo sa daming applicants. It really takes a lot of patience to actually find that US job opportunity for you. But it doesn't mean that you've been ignored. Ano lang, talagang marami lang factors bakit hindi ka na contact and so on. And don't take it personally kung hindi namin siya na hindi ka nabalikan agad nung agency na yon. Second, team effort. No? The teacher should lead the effort to be hired. Kasi the role of the staffing agency is to actually put you on the doorstep of the employers. So maraming cases where one applicant has already been endorsed to 2 or 3 employers at na interview na rin sila. No? But then again, bakit hindi sila nabibigyan ng job offer? So the staffing agency are not the ones primarily selling you to the school district. Ikaw yun eh. At the end of the day, once nabigyan ka ng schedule, na-schedule ka for interview, you really have to prepare. No? And just a reminder lang, especially yung mga mga applicants natin na we have a master's degree or a doctorate degree, when you are actually talking to the employers, forget mo muna na master's degree ka or you have a doctorate degree. At the end of the day, you are actually being hired to teach elementary students or middle school student or high school students. So you really have to go back, a little bit go down, and try to impress the employers by showing them how you will get the engagement of these students or pupils or kindergarten no? Yung mga estudyante mo. Kasi kung very highfalutin, high level na yung the way you present yourself, chances are hindi ka matatanggap, no? Kasi paano makaka-connect yung mga elementary students sa'yo, middle school students sa'yo, kung masyado nang mataas yung approaches mo. So, every time that we actually coach our applicants, we always remind them na, ma'am, you really have to give or make the hiring team feel that you are actually still be able to engage the students na hindi pa nasa mga, again, depending on what education level you are applying for, no? So just try to adjust to that, else your chance of getting sponsored might be gone dahil nga masyado na natin kinoconsider yung high level credentials mo. So number 3, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, one of the reasons talaga na na-discourage yung employers is the OEC processing time. It could take 3 to 4 months. So sa law office naman namin, marami kaming ginagawa to actually minimize that processing time. So it could still be done in 2 months as if we could actually start early. So what we are trying to say is, kung may makikita kayong employer in the next season and they are actually offering them H1B, really encourage them to actually, hey, ma'am, if you are actually giving me a job offer, because some of the school districts hindi talaga alam yung OEC process, then tell them that, yeah, if we could start the overseas employment certificate, no? Kagaya, kasi explain ko lang kung bakit most school district walang alam sa immigration process. So parang Philippines lang yan, di ba? So tayo as Filipinos, and we are residing in the Philippines, and you are an employer in the Philippines, you don't think about immigration processes, no? But if your nature of business requires to hire a foreign worker, so halimbawa, if you are an employer in the Philippines and you would want to hire Chinese or other nationalities, then that's the only time that you will start talking about or inquiring about how does immigration works. So parang US din yon. So most of the school districts, they used to be hiring American graduates, right? Yung mga teachers nila. And then there comes the scarcity of teachers nga, no? So yun yung time that they need to be talking about, ano bang mga options ko? J1 visa lang ba yung option ko? Or even if I'm gonna hire H1B, how does the process, how much the cost is? So not all school districts are aware of that. So if you happen to be finding that employer na hindi talaga familiar sa immigration process, then we could help you. And the way it works is that just connect us with your employer by sending us an email with your employer and us. I will be showing our email addresses later. That's the only time that we could actually basically help you. Okay? So, number 3 talaga na reason bakit nadi-discourage yung mga employers is that dahil sa haba ng OEC mo. And then number 4 nga, costly. So, there will be times where the school district would actually say, can you pay the premium processing fee because it's allowed by the rules, right? And then pag-usapan nyo na lang kung paano yung terms nun. But hindi naman lahat, no? So swerte yung mga iba na the school district will really say, don't worry about the total fees. We will cover for that, except when they actually say you can pay for the premium processing fee. So again, I think this is one of my last slides na. So again, babalikan ko na yung mga question natin dito na. But we are about to end our live. Marami-rami pa dito. Nawala na ako guys kung asan yung last kong question na sinagot. Car. Okay, kung ano na lang makita ko guys, I'm sorry. Nawala na ako sa... So, Adet, we answered that question. Attorney, can I apply for a J1 visa even if I'm currently teacher? Again, this is not a J1 presentation, but just like what I said, kung wala ka pang J1 offer ngayon, medyo mahirap na makahanap ngayon. Maya, non-education. Okay, Mary. So, ibig sabihin po, after October 2024 po ako pwede magpa-visa interview. Kasi ganito kasi yun, ma'am, no? Even if, let's just assume that you will now start in, okay, how do I answer this question? I will not stop you from applying early next year, but just make sure that your potential employer is aware that your 2-year home residency requirement will end in October 2024. So kagaya nga na sinasabi ko kanina, meron kaming current applicant ngayon that ang availability lang talaga niya kasi he's playing a very key role in that school is next year. But sobrang na-impress yung mga employer sa kanya that they are willing to wait. So again, for as long as you let them know that your earliest availability is October 2024, and they really like your background, your credentials, then they might be willing to wait for you. But apply, no? Start applying the earliest time possible. Just let them know what your limitations are in terms of your availability to join them. Lisa, general science major and currently teaching for less than 11 years in the public school with MA 36 unit in physical science. Okay. So, ma'am, just write your question. Premium processing fee is $2,500. So that's $2,500. That yun yung current premium processing ngayon. Watching from Davao del Sur, kumusta ka babayan? Taga Davao Oriental ko, no? Taga San Isidro. Shout out sa mga taga San Isidro pala. Shout out din sa mga staff ko habang naghahanap ako ng sagot. Ledet, good evening po. Do I have a chance even if I am TLE major? Yeah. May mga ano din, ma'am. May mga requirements din yung mga TLE. Arwin, I taught in the JHS for 7 years and 13 years in elementary. I am a BSS grad. Is there a possibility to be hired in the... Ang daming hiring ng elementary, no? And then, ano siya, general education kasi siya. So, it really is, mas malaki yung chance mo doon kasi nga highly in demand yung area there. Hello, Ma'am Chen. Kumusta po? Rose, meron po bang computer science teacher in GHS sa New Jersey? What's GHS? But computer science, doon papasok yun mga CTE na ano. So, mga school districts magre-require na, hey, can you find me an applicant with background in computer science or background in automotive or in agriculture? So, doon papasok yun. But are they highly in demand? Unfortunately, no. These are not the one of the highly in demand areas. But there are some that would look for those areas. So, hihintayin mo lang talaga kung mayroong mga opportunities na gano'n, no? Hello, I as well, Lipa, Batangas. I've been to Lipa when I was an industrial engineer for Nestle, no? So, may factory kami dyan. Janine, regarding po sa practice to exam, do I need to take the three test codes early childhood? Again, ma'am, no. So once you're already in the process of your practice, there are specific streams or requirements depending on your specialty area. So again, we could basically help you with that. But yung presentation natin, general terms na muna tayo, no? So again, back to our, so yun nga yung last slide ko, guys, no? So having talk about this, how can we help you? So again, I'm not talking about the in-demand requirements for this school year. Medyo very late na talaga yung H1B sponsorship for this year. So, hindi ko pala guys, hindi wala nagsabi sa akin na hindi ko pala na-share yung aking slides. Okay, I'll go back to that. Okay, I actually prepared some slides for you. So, balikan ko lang ha. Anyway, i-present ko yung slides for the sake lang na pag nagre-review kayo ng live mamaya, makikita nyo kung ano yung piniprepare ko. So, this is basically the credentialed teachers. So, ito yung sinasabi natin na at least 3 minimum requirements, GPA mo that you have passed Praxis 2, and you have passed TOEFL. But again, IELTS is also acceptable. And then we talk about the basic requirements. So, math 150, reading 156, writing 162. Kaya para maraming nagtatanong sa akin na ano yung mga some of the details, I forgot pala to share my screen. So guys, normally when I do on my Facebook Live, I normally prepare some slides. So if I happen to forget that I was not able to share my screen, can you just remind me na, hey, I really didn't say any of your screen. So again, review ko lang for those who would want to review the live mamaya. And then ito yung challenges that we actually talk about that is highly competitive, that you as the teacher applicant should lead the effort on making a good impression on the employer, right? At the end of the day, hindi naman kami ang i-hire ng employer mo, ikaw eh. So you really have to give your best at the time of your interview. And again, one of the reasons why most school districts are being discouraged because of the OEC processing time. So, but ang law office naman namin, we have actually developed some strategies how we could basically minimize that, but that's one of the reasons. And then the other one is costly. So don't be surprised if, reflection, JHS, junior high school. Okay? So again, marami namang educational level requirements, no, depending lang talaga sa actual hiring season kung ano yung specific requirements ng mga school districts, right? So may mga times din, no, na pag kunwari nag-i-interview na yung mga employers and then suddenly mayroong local na nag-apply, then nawala bigla yung opportunity na yan. So maraming reasons kung bakit nagbabago. So again, we can help you. If you need assistance on the foreign credentials evaluation or obtaining or starting your New Jersey licensing requirements, so again, we can guide you with how to apply the praxis exam or scheduling your exam in the review centers. We could basically help you with that. So you can just send us a message on our Facebook account. Ngayon, maraming nagtatanong sa akin at maraming na rin nagsabi scammer ako, no? Kasi marami daw akong accounts. So you know that you only have 5,000, you can only accept 5,000 members or friends on Facebook. And I already have reached that way back in 2008. So kung marami pa kayo nag-request ng friends accept sa akin, malabo na yun. So then I cannot also share my personal account with my staff, right? So kasi may maraming mga other conversation with other friends or family. So then we created this business account. So if you're gonna ask immigration related questions, you have a better chance of getting an immediate response if you will send your inquiry either in Nicholas Caracal Facebook account or iDream America 2. Those are my two legit accounts. Pag nag-message ka doon, my staff will respond to your inquiry. Kasi inquiry pa lang naman yun eh, hindi pa naman yun legal advisory, right? But even if your issue needs my attention or it needs to be discussed in more detail, in more detail, isa-set naman ng staff ko yun o i-advise ka naman to schedule a formal consultation with me. Now, if you want to connect with us via email, so the best email na gagamitin nyo for purposes of H1B inquiries, FCE, or licensing requirements or assistance is the fce.idreamstaffing.com. So, paki-take note lang yan. Yun yung best way to connect me. And again, I don't, hindi ako galit na maraming nagme-message sa akin. Kahit yung message na yun, pabalik-balik lang naman yung tanong. And that's the reason why I created these social media platforms para mas mabilis masagot yung mga tanong nyo, right? Examples like, hey, if I am a J1 visa holder subject to the 212E, can I apply for H1? Trust me, siguro mga 100,000 times na yan nasagot sa akin. So if you could basically just um, subscribe to these Facebook or social media platforms, you could basically get an answer from me kasi nakapost naman yung mga video chats, right? So, kagaya ngayon, I was surprised na umabot pala tayo ng 1 oras. And again, thank you guys for the 140 viewers who've been staying with me since we started this live. And if you still have other questions, I would be able to answer them later or if I have the time. But again, thank you for joining in our live today. So again, I would end the conversation, but we could help you. Again, if you need assistance on the FCE or the New Jersey teaching license, we can help you. You just need to actually send us. Okay? Uh, Thank you, Ma'am Chen. Right? So guys, so yung mga nagtatawag sa akin na scammer, I I will not even respond to you. No? So let our results na lang speak for who we are. Okay, so again, you can join me, you can subscribe to my TikTok account and my YouTube channel. Again, hindi naman ako after sa monetization and so on and so forth, right? My advocacy is just basically sharing or educating the Filipino community with regards to US immigration updates. So again, guys, maraming salamat for until my next topic for US immigration updates. Maraming salamat po. Thank you sa lahat. Bye-bye.